Welcome to the Lara Cross Country and Biathlon Centre. Another mild day, grey skies, and a great race in prospect coming up with the women's 12 kilometre sitting and a field of 17, and much interest in the favourites in this one to see whether Andrea Eskau, who's already won a biathlon gold medal, can back it up in the cross country, or perhaps whether Marianne Martinsen of Norway, overall World Cup champion, whether she might be able to better the time of Eskau. 12 kilometre distance, a real test of the endurance of these sit ski athletes. Snow is a little soft, it's hard going, a little tricky too. It's very easy to take a tumble in these conditions, and the skis get stuck in a rut with a slush, and the snow is just continuing to soften, and we're doing our best to keep it in good condition, but it provides a whole new quandary for the athletes as they make their way around the course. So the snow is wet. The air temperature a very mild 12 degrees. A little bit of a wind, 6 kilometres an hour from the south, 53% humidity. And the wax technicians for the various teams have been busy assessing the best surface to apply to the skis to get the best result for what we have here. 12 kilometres. They'll go off at 30-second intervals. And they'll be led off today by a couple of US athletes, Beth Requist and Monica Bassiot. And Birgit Skarstein there, Nadezhda Andreeva, several good Russian hopes, Natalia Kosarova, Abdikarimova also. Field of 17, you've got the first 9 there. Oksana Masters, who was 4th in the biathlon. And it's the last 3 or 4 that should provide us with the podium finishes, particularly Eskau and Martinsen of Germany and Norway. Not far away from the start. Again, the session is well attended. The stands are packed with eager, particularly Russian fans who are hoping that it's another Russian sweep of medals is possible. I don't think so in this one though. Eskau and Martinsen and the Italian Francesca Porcelato also likely to feature. It's Martinsen who's turned from swimming to cross country. Anja Wicker, second of the Germans, probably can't match Andrea Eskau over this distance, but she's coming off a good result in the biathlon also with a 6th place there. So it's mild around the Lara Centre, 10, 11, 12 degrees, and Beth Requist moved up to the start gate. She's ready. The officials are ready. The course is waiting for them. A 12 kilometre journey. Let's see how they handle it. It's great to see such a good crowd here. And the athletes certainly appreciate that their efforts are being appreciated. I won't put it that clumsily. She looks happy about it. Great to be here. I'm sure Beth Requist feels that way. Used to be a snowboarder before her accident a few years ago. She's realised a dream coming here. So we're underway with the women's 12K sitting. And 29-year-old Beth Requist from Winter Park, Colorado, who loves winter sports and has been able to continue it since her accident by taking to cross-country skiing. And it's a big moment for her, leading the field out. And we wish them all well today. Another American in Monica Bassio from Denver, Colorado. 2 silver medals in London in hand cycling at the Summer Paralympic Games, where Eskau, the German competitor, won 2 gold medals, so they'll know each other pretty well. She competed in Torino and Vancouver with Monica Bassio. First of the Norwegian competitors, 25-year-old Birgit Skarstein, also a rower. Got a silver medal actually in rowing it last year in Korea. Wants to go to Brazil Summer Paralympics as a rower, and here she is in Sochi in the women's 12K. Oksana Abdikarimova, first of the Russian competitors, gets a big cheer as she sets off 10th in the biathlon. She's only been competing for 4 years. It's English, Russian and Spanish. Natalia Kocherova from Omsk, 24-year-old Russian. Really enjoys her sport, frequent trips to training and competition. An absolute pleasure for her, she says. Loves being a strong and independent person. Valentina Shach of Belarus, 8th in the 5K at the Worlds, and one of the youngest competitors in the field at just 19. Competed in several events at the World Championships last year in Sweden. 8th in the 5K, certainly the best of her results. Tatiana McFadden, oh, what an interesting story she is. 3 gold medals, 4 silver and 3 bronze at 3 different Paralympic Games in track and field. She's a very successful wheelchair athlete, particularly over marathon distances. Originally from St. Petersburg, but adopted by an American family. And now trying her hand at cross-country skiing and doing very well. Lyudmyla Pavlenko. Total of 8 medals in cross-country, 3 gold, 3 silver, 2 bronze out of Torino and Vancouver. Also a bronze medalist at the London Paralympic Games in rowing. And this corner is proving quite tricky for the competitors. That's Kocherova almost coming to grief there. Nadezhda Andreeva, another of the Russian competitors. Also a rower from London. It seems to be a popular crossover sport for the cross-country and biathlon skiers. We'll try rowing. And Andreeva, a 35-year-old, is on her way. Oksana Masters, 4th place in the biathlon for the girl known as Roxy. She too was adopted by an American family, originally from Ukraine. Colette Bourgogne of Canada, from Saskatoon originally. She won the 10K at the World Championships in 2011. Find athletes in this race with different sport classes between LW10 and 12, and their times are factored according to those classes and their impairment. As Anja Wicker sets off, 6th in the biathlon from Stuttgart in Germany. Got a 6th in the 10K at the World Championships last year. Svetlana Konovalova 2nd in the biathlon. Can she go one better perhaps in the cross country? Well, the Russian crowd certainly hopes so. Got her arch rival to beat though in Andrea Eskau, who will go in a couple of competitors' time. Interval start, 30 seconds between them. And there is Eskau. Lyudmyla Pavlenko from Kharkiv in Ukraine. 7th finish in the biathlon. Competed in Torino and Vancouver. A couple of bronze medals in Torino. Now Francesca Pucciolato of Italy from Verona. Better known for sprinting. In fact, she won the gold medal in the sprint, the 1 kilometre sprint in Vancouver. Basio, looking out on the course now at some of these sectional times. Very important to give us a guide as to how the athletes are going. Request coming through 46 seconds slower than Basio. Eskau sets off, and the German support team hoping for another victory. This outstanding athlete. Gastein just outside that time of Basio through the 2.1 kilometres. Now Marianne Martinsen of Norway. Last to go. One of the favourites in the race. Formerly a Paralympic swimmer. Likes to combine the skiing with the swimming. It breaks up the training routines. Back out onto the course where Koshirova is 10 seconds, almost 10 seconds slower through that checkpoint. Abdekimarimova 5.6 seconds slower than Basio. So Basio, the American, done a good job setting the early time at that first of the checkpoints. It won't be long before the athletes are making their way back into the stadium. Aliancina Sheets and Tiana McFadden. So McFadden, who started 30 seconds behind Sheets, it's almost caught her, and in these 30-second interval starts, obviously that's something to consider. If you can just catch the person in front of you, then you're making headway, starting to put together a good race and a good time. Darchok looking for her time through the 2.1 kilometres. She's outside McFadden's. And past that purple sort of temporary monument there almost, those checkpoints. They're all in purple, easy for the athletes to spot. Andreeva. 109. The Russian coming through a little slower than McFadden, 23 seconds down. But Oksana Masters comes through in the quickest time now. Just taking a bit out of McFadden, a fellow American. And both originally from this part of the world. Both with very interesting stories to tell. But get into those a bit more detail perhaps later in the race as Basio makes her way into the stadium for the first time. Basio's had 9 top 10 finishes in cross-country and biathlon at Paralympic Winter Games, Torino and Vancouver. Just still looking though for that first podium finish. 4 laps of 3 kilometres, giving us our 12k, a new distance event for the Paralympic Winter Games. Her factored time takes into consideration her impairment and her sport class. She went through in 10:15.6. Skarstein will be next to come through, the Norwegian. Konovalova, 2 seconds down on Masters time. Skarstein 6 seconds behind Basio. Can't miss it with those long flats. Ticker. And calculated time through there, 24 seconds behind Oksana Masters. Lyudmyla Pavlenko, just taken almost 2 seconds off the time of Masters through that checkpoint. Abdikarimova coming through at the 3 kilometre checkpoint. And she's going to be just behind Basio's time by some 4.5 seconds. McFadden working hard. Similar muscle groups perhaps to pushing a chair, which is so accustomed, having been a multiple winner of some of the big marathons around the world, the Boston Marathon, London Marathon. McFadden through 3Ks, and for the moment is holding on to the quickest time. Eskau out on the course, not quite as fast as Pavlenko through there, 5 seconds slower. And you are forgiven for wondering, what does a gold medal performance 24 hours previously take out of an athlete when they come to an even longer race like this one, 12K. Almost twice the distance. Kochelato, 24 seconds down on Pavlenko's time. Whether the Ukrainian can maintain that pace, but she's one of the top seeds. And Pavlenko was 7th in the biathlon, so in good form. Here comes Andreeva. Konovalova. Russian crowd really wants her to do well. She just came up short in the biathlon behind Eskau. Konovalova only 24 years of age. Plenty of good years of competition still ahead of her. And we mentioned in competition already that only learned a year ago that she had a sister, Yevgenia, who's volunteering at these games. Svetlana was raised in a children's home, and so it was a long time before she knew she had the sister Yevgenia. And it's a very touching, moving story to know that Yevgenia is here helping out at the Sochi Paralympic Winter Games. Pavlenko. Third Paralympic Winter Games for her. 7th in the biathlon. Won a couple of bronze medals in Torino in cross country, did Pavlenko. Silver and 2 bronze in biathlon. Lots of the athletes competing in both disciplines. Pavlenko coming through, trying to take something out of Masters time at the 3-kilometre checkpoint. Anya Vika making her way down. 45 seconds almost slower than Pavlenko. Bourgogne of Canada, similar sort of time to Vika. Getting down to the sharp end of the field. Looking for the times for Pozzolato, Eskau and Martensen. Here is Eskau. She was a few seconds down on Pavlenko and will be again, I think, at the 3K. So Pavlenko is looking strong in the first stages of this race. We're only a quarter of the way through, 4 laps of the 3K course. And Eskau, who is considered a pretty warm favourite for this race on the back of what she did on the biathlon, but she's now 12 seconds behind Pavlenko. Now, unless Pavlenko has gone out too hard too early, it's going to look very good for her. Martensen now. And she too struggling to match the pace being set by Pavlenko. Out to the 5.1 kilometre checkpoint we go. And Basio, who set off second, first through in 16:38. Looks to be holding a form quite nicely. And Natalia Kocherova should come through in a very similar time. Yes, just 3.3 seconds quicker than Basio. Take the opportunity in the downhill sections to try and get the breath back while also concentrating fully on balance issues when they're taking the turns. Pozzolato, 48.6 seconds behind Pavlenko. Skarstein, through she goes, and away she goes. 23 seconds behind Kocherova. Here's the start from Lyudmyla Pavlenko. She's having a very good race. Got herself organised. Just carefully negotiating the bends. Seen plenty of falls around this course, biathlon and cross country. Here's McFadden through the 5.1k checkpoint, and she's the new leader at that stage. Endurance won't be a problem for her. McFadden's used to pushing a chair 42k's, and 12k's won't seem too much at all, although the wheelchairs do run a little bit more freely across the tarmac than skis across the snow. Masters come through, taking 10 seconds out of that time. Abdukarimova next through the 5.1k checkpoint. Well down in the time of Masters though. And sheets 42.4 down. Foul check 32.5. So Masters time is holding up nicely. And the crowd well informed of what's going on the big screen, but it's more fun for them when the athletes come back into the stadium. Not too long before they've got something to cheer about. Will it be for Nadezhda Andreeva? Well, she's well down on the time of Masters. So if there's to be a Russian victory here, it won't come from Andreeva, I think. Konovalova is going to have to step it up if there's to be a local winner. And here she is, Konovalova. Masters went through in 15:26.7. She's still got some meters to make her way up to the checkpoint at 5.1 Ks with almost 7 Ks to go. 4.5 seconds down on Masters is Konovalova, but we haven't had Pavlenko come through yet, and she is going to be the one to watch. Monica Bassio. I just love competition, many of these skiers, and move across to summer Paralympic sports if they can, and Bassio is certainly one of those with her 2 silver medals in the hand cycling. What she really craves though is a top 3 finish in cross country or biathlon, where she's gone so close to picking up a medal. A couple of 5th placings, a 6, 2 7s, an 8, 2 9s, a 10th. Pavlenko 14.5 seconds to the good. Can she maintain it? That'll be the question over the coming kilometres. Whether she's gone out too hard. Skarstein. Oh, she's had a tumble. But reasonably quickly upright again. Let's take away your rhythm though, and momentum obviously. Those athletes with the higher trunk function, the LW12s, can lean into those corners a little more effectively. But again, the advantage that they have is taken into consideration when the factoring percentage is applied to their real time. Skarstein, 36 seconds behind Bassio's time at the 6K, so that's after 2 laps. Masters steaming through in the 1:10 bib, and about to move past Skarstein. Masters in LW12. So she should be making some progress past the athletes in the classes LW10 and 11. So that's expected. Eskau, 24 seconds now down on Pavlenko. So Pavlenko is doing the job. Colette Begonia of Canada. 1.5 down on Pavlenko. Fans here really be lost without the big screen and all the information that comes to them from it. What's happening out on the course and who is where in relation to whom. Abdukarimova, a couple of minutes behind the time of Oksana Masters at this point, the 6K. And we'll be watching the 6K time for Pavlenko, Konovalova and Eskau. Marianne Martinsen from Norway. Haven't really seen too much of her in the last couple of minutes, and Konovalova. 1:13. She's 6 seconds behind Masters, so Oksana Masters could force her way onto the podium. She'd love that, having just missed out in the biathlon with a 4th placing. And Graver, a couple of minutes down. Won't be her day. Here's Pavlenko. Carefully negotiating the curves within the stadium, and there's quite a few of them. The course loops backwards and forwards in front of the grandstand, gives the spectators plenty of opportunity to see the athletes come past. A tight little right-hander can be a problem, and she's got it under control. It's hard work though, as Pavlenko comes down now. Pavlenko, Masters time, she's going to be well inside that. Question is she fading at all? Does look to be working harder at the halfway point. 18.8 seconds quicker than Masters. I want to see the times for Eskau, Porcelato and Martinsen. See if there's anyone who can challenge Pavlenko. Or will she allow the field to catch her? Here comes Martinsen. Pavlenko in the sport class LW11 and Martinsen LW12. So Pavlenko gets a kinder factoring percentage. Martinsen's got to ski that much quicker to get a result over Pavlenko, and she went out 90 seconds behind her. You see she's well down on Pavlenko's time, so Martinsen's got plenty to do. Pavlenko's time holding up well. 18:57.6. She went through 6Ks, and it's 51.5 seconds Martinsen trails her by. Let's see what she can do in the second half of the race. Now we've got Andrea Eskau coming up. And she's continuing to leak time to Pavlenko. Looking hard enough, a little shake of the head there. I think she's finding this tougher than the biathlon. A lot of emotional energy spent perhaps with that victory. And through comes Vicker as well. Vicker in LW 10.5 sits a little lower in her sit ski with less trunk function. Kocherova, the Russian, looking for her time with 8.1 Ks. Up to the mark she comes in 27 minutes 16. Basio through 7.1 seconds quicker. Very good race. The American. Plenty of experience to draw on. And all those top 10 finishes in cross country and biathlon. Masters. .151 she shaves off Basio's time. So Masters tracking along nicely to perhaps get a podium finish. Bit more wind today, still cloudy and still mild. Snow suffering, but the course management people are doing a fantastic job getting it ready for races. Something to drink there for Pavlenko. And up to this point, it's obviously the right liquid, because she's continuing to lead through the major checkpoints. McFadden. McFadden was adopted at the age of 6 from an orphanage. Go Tatiana, go. And go be it Skarstein as well. Coming up to the 8.1k checkpoint. She's let the hat go. It's obviously pretty warm out there. Doesn't need the headgear. Valchuk. Sure it gets a lot colder than this in Minsk, where she's from. It's like a summer's day. And the sun is peeking through. A lot of cloud around. And now again we get a glimpse of the sun. Konovalova, 15 seconds down on Masters. Now Beth Kust coming up to the 8-kilometre checkpoint. She just keep in mind that she's very new to cross-country skiing, having been a snowboarder up until the time of her accident, so she's just new into the sport, and it's great to see her involved in making qualification for Russia, which she said all she wanted to do was to make sure she was here to compete, and well, she's done that. Andreeva, a few minutes behind Masters. And had quite a range of times by the time we finished the race, the 12k event for the women. Pavlenko. How's she travelling? That's the question. Is she starting to hurt? Is she starting to slow down? Is there any chance anyone can catch her? 25.18 for Masters. Oh, she's still got her by 24 seconds. Pavlenko is keeping it together. She looks like she's hurting, but she's still going fast enough to hold on to the lead, and it's a significant one. So Pavlenko, Masters, Konovalova. Then McFadden, only a minute down on Pavlenko. There's some problems there. That's seconds lost for Tatiana McFadden, and she's trying to get herself into a podium position, and you don't want to lose valuable seconds losing your way there. 1/10, through goes Oksana Masters. And Monica Basia. USA with 4 athletes involved. Martinson a minute down on Pavlenko. And Martinson, although she went out last and was one of the favourites, she could miss a medal here. Oksana Masters and Konovalova are the next best behind Pavlenko. And 7, Tatiana McFadden coming around. McFadden is involved in that Boston Marathon wheelchair race where there was the explosion after the race, and she was determined that after that happened, she wasn't going to let that stop her competing. She won in 2013 the Boston, London, Chicago and New York marathons in the same year. The first person to do that. McFadden. Here she comes, a 9k checkpoint, and that means 1 lap and 3 kilometres to go for McFadden. Konovalova coming through. Again, she's significantly outside the time of Oksana Masters. 20 seconds. But ahead of those two athletes behind her, started ahead of her. Eskau, this distance is sorting her out somewhat. She's a minute 36 behind. Here comes Vika, 2:20 down on Pavlenko. So Pavlenko, she was holding something back in the biathlon and finished 7th. Here's Andreeva coming through. And, Pavlenko has really got to hurry along today. Well, there's Andreeva, Russian, pushing up towards the 9K checkpoint. She's a few minutes down now on Oksana Masters, but Masters and Pavlenko a bit hot for the rest of the field today. So through the 9 kilometres, that means 3 to go for Andreeva, and just behind her there is Beth Requist of the United States. See what they've got in reserve for the last 3Ks. Up comes Pavlenko. And the lead is still 22 seconds over Masters. So that's good steady work from Pavlenko. 3 more Ks to keep it together. So unless she hits the wall, she should be good enough. Abdakiremova through along with Sheets. 2:33.5. Behind is the Belarusian. Got each other for company, at least for the moment. Down comes Martinson. And she's well outside the time of Pavlenko. It's more the margin that's surprising than the positions. Pavlenko on a day, yep, should be able to match it with Martinson, but by this much, a minute, that is a surprise. But in these conditions, you can't put a high enough value really on getting the wax just right, because the humidity and the soft snow conditions, if you don't get it right, if your wax technicians just make a small error of judgment, it turns into a big difference out on the course. And this is Masters. Just forced to take it a little wider than she wants to. But Oksana Masters is doing her best to hold on to second place here ahead of Konovalova. I haven't seen Pozzolato for a while, and this is why. She's well off the pace, the Italian. Started third last out of the gate. And Eskau. Now, Eskau looks like she's withdrawn, and she did look to be suffering out on the course, and this is a shock. One of the favourites out of the race. She's obviously not 100%, felt unable to carry on, and it's a great shame for the sake of the event. No chance of back-to-back gold medals then for the biathlon Paralympic champion, Eskau. So Masters can push on, might be unaware of Eskau's withdrawal. But as we saw Eskau drifting further and further behind the race pace, it became clear she wasn't at her best, and to see her withdraw is very sad, but perhaps reflecting on those times, not surprising. Kocherova of Russia, in comparison to Masters, through 11.1k, so that's 900 metres to go. She's almost 3 minutes down. is Anya Veka. Coming through with 3 kilometres left in her race. 2:40 behind Pavlenko. Monica Basio comes past the checkpoint once more. Less than a kilometre to finish the race. For Pavlenko at the 9 kilometre checkpoint by 22 seconds from Masters and Konovalova, then Martinsen and Vauchok. Disappointment for the German fans today with the withdrawal. Andrea Eskau clearly not 100%. Whether it's illness or injury. But here we have Konovalova. See how much she trails Masters by. She moves past the 11.1k. Almost 30 seconds. So Masters looks to be safe from Konovalova. McFadden going through as well. Minute 13 down. Is Vauchok. It's got to be some relief on a distance race like this to know you're inside the last kilometre. 32-year-old from Minsk negotiates that curve all right, downhill for a spell. That's a relief too. Birgit Skarstein. The 25-year-old from Oslo. Wonder will we see her as a rower in Brazil? That's her ambition. Norwegian fans hoping for something from her or from Martinsen. They might not get it out of either. Crowds enjoying the race and the outstanding progress of Lyudmyla Pavlenko. And that's the sad sight of Andrea Eskau, one of the race favourites, forced out. Pavlenko. Coming up to this checkpoint, she's 22 seconds quicker than Masters, so she's keeping it together well. She just gave the appearance once or twice that maybe she wouldn't make it. Masters across the line, 39.16. Miss Pavlenko looks as though she was in some distress, but she's fighting through the pain. Masters has got the time to beat. She's finished in 39.16. Martinsen, a minute 7 down. Might have just taken a bit of time out of Pavlenko. Down to the line now comes Kocherova. Well outside Masters. So Masters actually the first to finish, which is surprising seeing as she went off 10th, so she's really sailed around the course. Kocherova 2 minutes down. Having started ahead of Masters. Monica Basio making her way towards the finish. Her calculated time, and you're right there, coming up towards 42 minutes. Into second for the moment, but we've only got 3 finishes. And another 13 to come. Started off with 17. With the withdrawal of Eskau, one of the favourites, reduced the field by the one, Konovalova. She'll force her way into second place here as she drives it towards the finish line. Konovalova, who finished second in the biathlon, looking for another podium finish here and might get it too. Outside the time of Oksana Masters, but Svetlana Konovalova coming down inside 40 minutes, 39:49. We'll see how long that holds up. They'll get blown away by Pavlenko when she comes in. 107, Tatjana McFadden. Great race from her. What a competitor. In a wheelchair, on a sit ski. She just loves to compete. And she squeezes into third place. She knows how to push herself to the absolute limit. And here comes Valchok, Lyudmyla Valchok of Belarus. 40-42, so she's looking at just pushing Basio out of fourth, but not onto the podium. Will she go? She's outside the top three. McFadden with 40-38 is in third position. Now Birgit Skarstein of Norway. Down she comes in 43:35.8. Oh, and over she goes. Not quite got the energy to stay upright. You can see the funny side of it amidst the exhaustion and fatigue. Here's Pavlenko. 38:45. And she's coming down to the line. She's going to be good enough to beat Masters. This looks like the winning time. Lyudmyla Pavlenko of Ukraine. Across she comes in 38:54. Still got to Masters by 22 seconds. And that might be a Paralympic championship for Pavlenko. Martinson, 106 down, so she's off the podium. We've still got Pavlenko, Masters and Konovalova there. Ukraine, USA and Russia. Andreeva well outside the pace. So 10 have finished. I don't know that anyone works harder than our apparent winner, Lyudmyla Pavlenko. Every time we saw her out on the course, she looked like she was pushing it to her absolute limit. And she'll get the news now that Eskau has withdrawn. As we look at the rest of the field, still out on the course, it looks to be Pavlenko's race. In comes Beth Requis from the United States, appearing at her first Paralympic Winter Games. On the one-year anniversary of her 2011 accident, she celebrated her recovery by going skydiving. That took some courage. Let's hope we see her at more Paralympic Winter Games in the future. Those who finished their race are staying around the finish area to greet those still coming in. Valentina Sheets making her way down the straights. Belarus, she's come. And at 19. She's probably got a lot more competition in her as well. Across in some 4 minutes down in the time of Pavlenko. Abdukarimova finishes also, 43.54 her time. And Colette Bourgogne, Canadian, out on the course with 900 metres left. Bit of a downhill stretch to encourage her to get to the finish line. Pavlenko getting some encouragement from Ukrainian teammates. So Konovalova sitting in third and Masters second. And Kocherova having a word there to Abdukarimova, the Russian competitors. Talato still out on the course. Very good sprint cross-country skier, but this distance seems to have found her out a little, and she'll be better in the shorter distances. We'll wait for those events to come up and watch the progress. But Francesca Pozzolato from Verona, not too far for her to go now. And here comes Anya Wicker. The German flag has a reason now to be waved around. Sad news about Andrea Eskau, but Anya Wicker pushing it down to the line. Might just squeeze into 8th position ahead of Kocherova, and she does. Wicker, 6th in the biathlon, 8th at the moment. See if that position is the one she ends up with. Still just got a couple out there. Wicker might be safe in that position. Looking to the finish of Bourgogne and Pozzolato. Pavlenko, 38.54. 21.7 seconds quicker than Masters. Konovalova in third. That's the confirmation of those positions. Pozzolato, another one of many athletes here who competed in both summer and winter Paralympic Games. She's competed in road cycling for Italy. So she's had a wonderful career in sport, of course a number of different sports. Pozzolato in 2010 was named a Commander of the Order of Merit of the Italian Republic. Pozzolato too, as you mentioned, was a joint flag bearer at the Paralympic Games in Beijing. Nap time for some of us. Look at the form of Lyudmyla Pavlenko, who pushed it out hard and never backed off. Just seemed to give every push of the stocks 100%. Prepared to put herself through as much pain as was needed to get the best possible time, and she's come over in 38.54.3, and that looks like it's going to be good enough. a couple to finish, and we've got Burgoyne coming up to the finish line now, and should be just under 44 minutes for the Canadian. And a 5th Paralympic Winter Games for Colette Burgoyne. 3-time Summer Paralympian in track and field. She's done it all, and she's finished the women's 12K. .43.50 is the time for Burgoyne in Saskatoon. And Puzzolato will be coming across the line too shortly, and that should finish the field, allowing for the did not finish of Andrea Eskau in Germany. Puzzolato being roared home by not just the Italians, but everyone in the stand here at Laura. And she hits the line in 42.51.4. Almost 4 minutes behind Pavlenko, but she is thrilled to finish. Well, these athletes know each other pretty well. They compete often against each other. Burgoyne and Puzzolato been around the sport a good while. They've run into each other plenty. You've got to spend a lot of time with your rivals. It is better if you get on with them. Makes for a happier time. Should be able to bring you official results very, very shortly. Didn't look to be any cause for protests or drama out there. Our only concern was, of course, about Andrea Eskau, who wasn't able to finish, but it didn't involve any foul play or anything untoward. Let's look at the placings. The women's 12K sitting, and a victory for Lyudmyla Pavlenko, 38.54.3. from the USA's Oksana Masters and Russia's Svetlana Konovalova. Then Marianne Martinson of Norway, McFadden of the USA, Valchok Belarus, Basia USA, Vicker of Germany, and Kocherova of Russia. And the sad did not finish the feature of that second page from Andrea Eskau, one of the favourites for the race. Well, I do hope that plenty of the spectators remain for the flower ceremony, which won't be too far away. And if you'd like to stay around also and watch it with us, it's always a bit of fun to see the emotion and the excitement, the elation of the athletes who get themselves onto the podium, and this time it'll be Lyudmyla Pavlenko, Oksana Masters and Svetlana Konovalova. So that presentation should just be a few moments away.
At the 11th Paralympic Winter Games here in the cross-country ski and biathlon center. Are you happy there on the stage? Come on, make some noise!
Традиционно есть сказать, здесь сборная команды России. 3 медали, весь подиум у мужчин в 15-метровой гонке. И не обошлось без награды у женщин на 12 километров. Светлана Коновалова. Уважаемые друзья, вы сегодня потрясающе болели, поддерживали. Спасибо вам большое. И отчасти, что сегодня возглавляли и увидели фантастические выступления наших ребят. Это ваша заслуга.
You know that song, ladies and gentlemen? You want to dance with us? If the Gangnam Style, come on, ladies, dance with us! You know that dance! Vinny, wave on the screen. Vinny, come on, dance with us! The Gangnam Style, Vinny! And the Germans also know it, yeah! Paralympic Youth Game of Germany! Anna, do you know the Gangnam Style? Can you dance the Gangnam Style, Anna?
Спасибо нашим дорогим комментаторам. Была потрясающая гонка. Много эмоций. И самое главное, вы, болельщики, нас сегодня не подвели. Вы были самыми лучшими. Мы прекрасно обещали. Мы начинаем раздачу наших кубиков. Эти кубики служат, напоминаю вам, для церемонии вручения медали на сегодняшний вечер. И у нас есть фанаты из России. Давайте поддержим их. Откуда приехали? Из Москвы. Юго-Западной округ. Отлично. Москва, Санкт-Петербург, остальные столицы. Сочи. Мы видим, у нас и хозяева, и гости Олимпиады. Все собрались здесь. Итак, как мы поддерживаем нашу страну? Давайте вместе. 4.
few minutes, ladies and gentlemen, we will have the flower ceremony. We actually have to wait for the protest time. So the results are still unofficial so long. So please take a glance for the flower ceremony and cheer for your athletes after this great competition, 12 kilometers for the women.
Уважаемые болельщики, через несколько минут стартует цветочная церемония награждения победительницы и призеров соревнований 12 километров у девушек класс сидя. Определенные 15 минут мы обязаны выдержать. Это 15 минут, которые необходимы для возможных протестов. Ну и ожидаем с нетерпением. Оставайтесь на своих местах, уважаемые любители спорта.
Дорогие друзья, не расходитесь, оставайтесь на своих местах. У нас такая замечательная погода, такой снег замечательный. Посмотрите, как постаралась наша бригада. Белый снег, чистый воздух. Никуда не уходите, буквально через 5 минут начнется церемония вручения цветов. Наши победители. А я хочу сейчас проверить, сколько же у нас девушек на стадионе. Раз, два, три, девушки! Так, уже неплохо. Так, а теперь еще громче, девушки, где вы? Лэвис! Так, ну-ка, давайте посмотрим. Может быть, мужчина у нас все-таки громче окажется. Раз, два, три! Ну нет, это не мужчины. Мужчины, давайте еще раз, давайте покажем нашим девушкам, где вы. Раз, два, три! что несмотря на то, что соревнования закончены, атмосфера здесь просто нереальная. Замечательная атмосфера. И мы снова знакомимся с нашими дорогими зрителями. Итак, откуда вы приехали?
Из Сочи.
Из Сочи. То есть вы буквально с хозяева.
Да.
И расскажи мне, как изменился город, как тебе нравится?
Мне очень нравится. Я побывала уже и на многих олимпийских соревнованиях, и на паралимпийских. Мне очень все нравится.
Здорово. А где ты еще была?
На соревнованиях?
Да.
15 числа мы поедем на кёрлинг, 12 на слэш-хоккей, а была на фристайле, на хоккее Россия-Америка.
Какой у тебя уже большой опыт. Представляете, в таком возрасте уже на стольких соревнованиях, на Олимпийских играх побывать. Скажите, а вы первый раз на Олимпиаде?
Да, первый раз. Мне очень понравилось.
У вас замечательный кокошник, просто настоящая русская традиция, русский колорит. Скажите, пожалуйста, что вы ожидали от этих соревнований, что получилось, что не получилось?
Ну, вы знаете, я первый раз только на этих соревнованиях, то есть первый день. И первый раз, когда я приехала, мне очень понравилось. Я в восторге от этого воздуха, от пальм, которые растут. И вроде зима в то же время тепло. И я до сих пор прихожусь в таком в восторге, да, от этого воздуха. Сочи просто прекрасное место для отдыха. Я думаю, сюда стоит приезжать, забывать какие-то европейские страны. Вот. Приезжайте все в Сочи.
Вы знаете, что самое замечательное? На наших трибунах столько детей. We have so many children on our tribunes. Это замечательно. Это значит, что дети начинают уже с малых лет приобщаться к Олимпиаде и Паралимпиаде. Это великолепный опыт. Скажите, пожалуйста, все вам нравится? Нравится атмосфера?
Да, очень.
Скажите, а как вы поддержите наших спортсменов? Есть какие-то кричалки, что там? Россия! Вот это же. Так, у нас есть гости из Санкт-Петербурга. Продолжаем с Санкт-Петербургом. Вторая столица из Краснодара.
Санкт-Петербург приветствует Олимпийские игры. И Сибирь, и Паралимпийские игры. Кричалка такая: да здравствует Россия!
Браво, браво. Был кто-нибудь на Олимпийских играх? Нет? Вы были на Олимпийских? На каком объекте на Олимпийских играх вы были?
Там в Олимпийском парке.
И как тебе все развлечения? Много всего построили для детей, для взрослых?
Красиво очень.
Так, замечательно. Скажите, а кто-нибудь на трибунах еще был на Олимпийском объекте? Был на Олимпийском парке?
Олимпийском парке.
Вот это какие у нас замечательные зрители. Ну что ж,
Яркие аниматоры, организаторы, все очень прекрасно, можешь ходить, волонтеры шикарно развлекают, даже когда перекрывают дорожку, все очень хорошо, все стоят, никто никуда не рвется. Так что спасибо очень большое вам, ребята.
вы знаете, мы испытываем большую гордость, что наша страна в этом году принимает и Олимпиаду, и Паралимпиаду. И если зрители довольны, это самая большая благодарность нам. Ну что ж, спасибо, будьте с нами и ни в коем случае не расходитесь. У нас буквально через несколько минут начинается цветочная церемония.
Россия, Раша.
We're the voice of the Paralympic athlete.
We are the connection between IPC decision makers and athletes. We provide input on athletes' related decisions.
The IPC Athletes Council is your direct access to the IPC governing board.
As an athletes council, we represent our athletes in committees and commissions.
We're ready to listen and we're here to help.
The IPC Athletes Council is your voice.
We have the athletes' best interest in mind. We provide the athletes' perspective on different matters. Athletes should care because IPC Athletes Council will influence. We want you to find out more about Paralympic movement. It's important for athletes that they be proactive by themselves.
The IPC Athletes Council wants you to get involved.
We want you to feel comfortable talking to us. Laat ons weten waar jullie tegenaan lopen.
Let us know your problems.
Deixem-nos saber seus problemas.
Inspiring and exciting the world with elite sport, the Paralympic Games have grown into the third largest sporting event in the world. Transformed from a disability movement to one with sport at its core, para-athletes create a more inclusive society and inspire the world to believe that anything is possible.
You
performances will inspire and excite the world. You will not just inspire a generation, but many generations to come.
It will change our perception of the world.
We're about to see the greatest Paralympian ever. And is this going to be the moment when he gets gold? Oscar Pistorius absolutely storming away. Oscar Pistorius, is he going to he's been caught, is he? Oh my goodness.
So tough. I saw her on the last 100 and I was like, I'm gonna have to put my head down. I just went out there and gave it my all.
My best moment was putting that gold medal around the neck of Edison.
It's just immense. Inside sometimes we feel it's gonna go right. You feel it, that everything is falling in place.
We will never think of sport the same way, and we will never think of disability the same way.
Still waiting for flower presentation for the women's 12K sitting. There has been a protest, we understand. The jury is considering a protest from the United States regarding the unofficial winner, Lyudmyla Pavlenko.
The greatest Paralympic Games
So
ever.
until we have a result from that protest, there'll be no flower presentation. Hopefully it won't be too far away. So we're waiting to hear the result of a protest regarding Lyudmyla Pavlenko lodged by the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, the flower ceremony for the cross-country skiing women's 12 kilometers sitting.
Дамы и господа, цветочная церемония награждения победителей и призеров по лыжным гонкам 12 километров женщины в классе сидя.
Well, finally, we're going to have the flower presentation for the women's 12K sitting cross-country. Svetlana Konovalova, Oksana Masters and Lyudmyla Pavlenko. So whatever the issue was, it seems to have been sorted.
Цветы вручает господин Сергей Добраков, исполняющий обязанности старшего вице-президента Организационного комитета Сочи 2014.
Bronze medalist representing Russian Federation.
Бронзовый призер, представительница Российской Федерации Светлана Коновалова.
And Svetlana Konovalova backs up her silver medal performance in the 6K sitting biathlon with a third in the 12K cross country. She's 24 from Moscow.
Silver medalist representing United States of America.
Серебряный призер, представительница Соединенных Штатов Америки Oksana Masters.
Originally born in Khmelnytsky in Ukraine, before being adopted by an American family and moving to Louisville, Kentucky, Oksana Masters, also a bronze medalist in rowing at the 2012 Paralympic Games in London.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Ukraine.
And Lyudmyla Pavlenko comes to the podium. Some worrying minutes while the apparent protest was heard and then dealt with. Looks to be no ill feeling between Oksana Masters and Lyudmyla Pavlenko. All sorted, all delivered, the flowers, and she's obviously in deep reflection about what it means to her now, a 32-year-old. Having had bronze medals in Torino. Cross country, now a winner in the 12K sitting. Lyudmyla Pavlenko, Oksana Masters, Svetlana Konovalova, Ukraine, USA and Russia. 1, 2, 3 in the women's 12K.
Sochi 2014 Paralympic Winter Games. Thank you for your participation and support of the Sochi 2014 Paralympic Winter Games. See you tomorrow. We will have the long distance races of the men standing and Michelin medals with the women standing and Michelin medals. Starting time will be 10 o'clock for the first competition.
Уважаемые дамы и господа, соревнования второй день Паралимпийские игры 2014 в Сочи. И к концу сегодня мы с вами увидели две лыжные гонки за 15 и 12 километров у мужчин и
First couple of events in the cross country, not without their drama or controversy, but in the end with some very deserving winners and some great competition, and plenty more to come from Laura. And I hope you'll be able to join us for the races still to come in the Paralympic Winter Games 2014. Goodbye for now from Laura.